Hello and welcome to Cavs Daily, your one-stop shop for everything Cavalier related. I'm your host Paul Williams, and you have found the one-stop shop for everything Cavaliers related, the good, the bad, the ugly. We will get to it here, and I appreciate you guys tuning in with me today as we will be discussing a lot about what's coming very soon, which is the regular season as we're within 44 days of the regular season beginning. And I don't know how, with knowing that, you don't start thinking about what's to come, who's up first, and what this season is going to look like. So, why don't we talk about it here? Before we get started, if you could subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, it really would be appreciated. And yeah, let's get right started with, or I'm sorry, let's get started right now with the first topic of the day, which is the season opener against the Knicks. And will that opener also be a preview of what's to come in the Eastern Conference Finals later on in May of 2026? Well, I mean, in the shortest answer, I guess I'd say that's the most likely scenario at this point, but I still don't believe in the Knicks, if I'm being honest. I do think the Cavs will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I can't say the same about the Knicks at this very moment. I know they were in it last year, and they made a couple small additions that may or may not help, adding Jordan Clarkson mainly to their bench. But I don't know. I still just there's something about the Knicks where I feel like they had a lot of good fortune in the playoffs last year, and I don't think that they're a lock to make any type of run. I feel like they can lose in the first round. I feel like if a couple calls went differently, they might have lost in the first round to the Detroit Pistons just last year. So I'm not ready to commit to that side of it yet, but I will say the Cavs will be in the Eastern Conference Finals, and this matchup does have a good chance of being a playoff matchup at some point. And if it is, it should be interesting. I mean, there is some history there, obviously, as these two teams played now what seems like forever ago in the 2022-23 season, in the playoffs of that season. But in recent history, the Cavs have absolutely dominated the Knicks. They beat them all four games last season, and they have beat them five out of the last six. Most of those games were blowouts, not close games. So and most of those games were on nationally televised. They were nationally televised games, which always, or most of the time, brings the best out of the players. So you see kind of a preview of what it looks like, or what it may look like in the playoffs. And yeah, the Cavs had their way with the Knicks last year, and I think it's going to be more of the same this year, if I'm being honest, at least in the regular season. I do think a playoff matchup would be an interesting one, and I do think the Knicks pose threats to the Cavs. It's not like the Cavs are just a guaranteed blowout 4-1 or sweep if they ever play the Knicks, but I don't know. I don't think the Cavs would have too much trouble with them either, given good health for both teams. If both teams come in healthy, I like the Cavs' odds in a series. If we're handicapping right now, long away, a long ways from the playoffs, which won't be starting for another 7 months, I believe. So, yeah, I do think this could be a playoff preview. I don't know if it'll be an Eastern Conference Finals preview. If the Knicks and the Cavs do get the 1 and 2 seed, then obviously that would be the only way they would play. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. For now, I think the Cavs, even missing Darius Garland and Max Strus, first of all, the national TV and the broadcasters, they will barely mention that. And any struggles the Cavs have, they'll highlight without mentioning the fact we're missing 40% of our starting lineup. But I think the Cavs will be fine. We played very well without certain pieces last year during the regular season. And I think the Cavs go to Madison Square Garden on October 22nd and beat the Knicks by at least 9 to open the season. And if the Cavs do end up seeing the Knicks in the playoffs, I'm saying 4-2 right now, no matter what round it is. Now, the last time the Cavs played the Knicks in the playoffs, it wasn't such a pretty sight for the Cavs as they lost 4-1, coming as the 4 seed in that season's playoffs, and the Knicks were the 5th seed. The Cavs they looked overmatched at times. They just weren't as a full core ready for that high level of basketball and how different it is than the regular season. They just weren't ready, period, point blank. And that was a very different team than this Cavs team we see going into the 25-26 season. Even though a lot of the same core remains, those cores players are way different players than they were at that time. I mean, Evan Mobley it's not even comparable to what he was in that year, his first year in the NBA. Darius Garland has grown leaps and bounds. We've added DeAndre Hunter, Max Strus, Larry Nance, Lonzo Ball. Jared Allen has gotten better for sure since that series. And Donovan has grown even more into a superstar since that series. So I do think that the Cavs have shown major growth since that first playoff run this core has had in 22-23. We still haven't gotten as far as I think myself or any Cavs fans or Cavs players or Cavs coaches would have wanted us to get by this point, but the growth that we have shown in the playoffs and in the regular season, you can see it, and it is there. And I think that's a big reason why Kobe Altman has always chosen to stick with the core, even when there was times it might have been easy to take the door on the right and make a change and break up the core and move a guy out or do something drastic to the team. They stayed the course, and I think it did pay off last year, and it showed what this core can do. And I'm confident they will take another step this year, but there's no doubt that this core has shown a lot of growth throughout the last couple of years. So with that growth that they have shown, do they still have a lot of time to grow together, or is the clock really, really, really ticking now for them to either win it all or the core is going to change? I think there is still time, given anything can happen in the NBA, and if for unforeseen reasons the Cavs fall apart this season, of course there could be changes, and there most likely will be big changes. But if we just go off the idea that the Cavs at least are one of the top teams again this season, and they do have a competitive playoff run, even if it's not a championship, at least the Eastern Conference Finals, I do think this core has at least next year before they would seriously consider making a big move. It also has a lot to do with how the Cavs would bow out of the playoffs if they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. Was it competitive? Who showed up? Who didn't? Was there injuries? There's just so many components. It's so tough to say with any certainty. I know a lot of pundits now like to say there's such a ticking clock on any NBA team and any NBA core, and that's true to an extent. But when you build a team so organically as this team has been built, I think that clock can be extended dramatically. And I do think the Cavs, if they stay on the same trajectory, still have a lot of years left together as this core. And if they just get one this year, who knows how long this team. Obviously, there will be guys coming in and out around them, and maybe even one piece of the core goes at some point. But I do see the main guys staying together for at least a couple more years. And if we have the success that I think we can have, who knows? The ceiling is unlimited as far as how long these guys could stay together. And to wrap things up today, we're going to talk about some of the rumors that have been going around and just some of the guys that are still available that many have speculated could be an idea for the Cavs given their situation with the injuries to start the season. So do we think there is still going to be another move made At this point, I would say probably not. I mean, if we can get maybe a Malik Beasley on a still of a deal, then maybe they think about it. But we're now, like I said, within just over 40 days until the season starts. We'll be heading off the training camp in just a few weeks, and I just don't know if a drastic addition is going to happen. And I would consider Beasley drastic, given that he would be a real rotation piece, and it would change a lot of things, both when our guys are hurt and when they're on the court. So I don't know if something like that is going to happen, or a Russell Westbrook. There hasn't really been any more rumblings. I think they're still doing their background on both Beasley and Westbrook and other guys just for different reasons. They're always obviously looking to see if they can upgrade, but at this point, it does look like the Cavs may hold tight and just believe in the roster that they've built and the depth that they do have on the bench, and with some of the young guys maybe ready to step into some type of role, at least in the regular season, to help out while some guys are out. I mean, we do still have 40-something days till the season, so anything can happen. Even when the season is underway, anything can still happen as far as additions goes. But at this very moment in time, it's been very quiet on the Cavs front. It's been pretty quiet on the NBA front overall as far as any more addition goes, or many more transactions, even though they do still happen around this time of the year. But for now, it is pretty quiet, and I will just go with the idea that this is the squad we got, and we're going to work around our injuries and kind of take it from there. I mean, we're not in a bad spot with where we're at with the guys we do have, so I think it could be a lot worse, and I think the Cavs will be okay either way. And with that comes the end of another episode. Truly appreciate all of you guys that do listen in. Once again, if you could just subscribe, like, anything you feel inclined to do will be appreciated. Until we talk again, which will be tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. You know, every day. We're doing this every day. Please come back and join me again tomorrow, and I will see you guys then.